Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tiki Talka. I am one very angry and upset United States fan, Joey. That's another equally as angry and frustrated United States fan, Travis. Here's a quick preview of what we're talking about today. I don't want to talk about this yet.
Rip the Band-Aid off and talk about this, Joey.
All right, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about it.
The first few games of the World Cup, I was shocked. I'm like, maybe we could actually get to quarterfinals. But when we played Belgium, I was like, yeah, typical. And remember, this is an old Belgian team, but they still handed us a can of whoop ass.
They didn't have the legs to handle liquid football. And what do? We back pass like a bunch of buffoons. Why did Tyler Adams lose the armband? Adams was out there trying to kill guys every time he lost the ball. Weston McKinney has more talent in his left nut than Christian Pulisic. He'll give you 6 weeks of pretty solid play, then he disappears for 12 weeks. The fact that Ricardo Pepi got called on instead of Haji Wright, Coventry's leading goal scorer who just got promoted this season, he got 6 minutes this whole World Cup. If I'm Haji, I'm asking you to change my citizenship. Serginho Dest, you lost your job to Timothy Weah. How the hell did you get it back? And how is Tim Weah, another forward option, not playing? The only people who have any kind of pride in this World Cup are Gio Reyna, Malik Tillman, and Weston McKinney. Everyone else, think about if you want to play football for the rest of your life.
All right, guys, we're a little past the midpoint of the World Cup, so we're going to review how some of the games went and some of the upcoming games and seeing how our predictions have played out so far. So, Joey, why don't you start us off?
I went over to my parents' house yesterday, and my dad wants to talk to me about the USA game. And I told him, I can't talk about this game right now. Do you want to hear me swear and say things that you thought people didn't say anymore? No? Okay, I'm not going to talk about this game right now. I'm saving it for today. But it's going to be for the very end. So, Portugal, Spain. Can both teams not go through? How about that? Is that a possibility? Going into this game, this should have been the two best midfields in the world battling out for dominance. And it looked like an AYSO match where kids are just like, hey, pass it. No, here, ball. Genuinely, did anyone create a real scoring opportunity that entire 90 minutes? Who did you think deserved to win this game?
That's tough to say. I don't even know if I can give you an answer.
This game sucked, dude. This game sucked. That's why, bro. This game sucked so hard. It should have been the game of the tournament, bro. This should have been one of the best games, man. And it was a snooze fest. I started doing my job, sitting at my desk at work because this game was so boring. You're the Ronaldo guy. You love Bruno Fernandes. What's up with this game?
I wouldn't say I'm the Ronaldo guy. I appreciate what they do, but I'm not a Ronaldo fanboy and I'm not a Messi fanboy. Portugal is one of the more underwhelming teams of this tournament. I had such high expectations, as you guys have seen from earlier pods. I had them in the final. This was my final against Spain, and thankfully it wasn't because it was kind of boring.
Let me ask you this. I don't think it's controversial to say that Vitinha was probably the player of the season for PSG. He honestly was frontrunner for me for Ballon d'Or, besides Harry Kane. But going into this, is Vitinha even in the top 5 for Ballon d'Or voting?
Okay, so when it comes to Ballon d'Or voting, tournaments play a role in it, and I think this cost him. So the short answer is no. I still think it's going to be your usuals. It's going to be Harry Kane, Dembele, Olise. Dare we start saying Messi again because of his performance here?
Stop it, dude. We're not talking about Argentina yet.
He is having a fantastic World Cup, though.
Yeah, this is definitely, I don't want to say Messi of old, because I think Messi of old would have killed Egypt for sure. Just by himself would have killed Egypt. But it's still Messi. This should have been Vitinha's Ballon d'Or, bro. It should have been his. He's been one of the best players on the planet, and they couldn't do anything. Steve, this is for you. Bruno Fernandes arguably could have been a Ballon d'Or winner this season, right?
Winner's a stretch, but a candidate I'll give you.
Top 5 is probably what people would say Bruno should be in. Now, do we think that? You can put him in top 5 when you play one game a week, and everybody else does that for sure. He played almost a full 90 every match. United fans had the balls to say that this guy is not only player of the season, but he's the best player in Europe. What I want to say to them will get this video banned. Please, if you have a hot take about footy and you're a United fan, here's my advice. Don't. Find a new sport. Please. Genuinely. Like, what are we talking about, Ballon d'Or?
He did have a solid season, but this tournament, just like Vitinha, squashed any chance of that happening.
Again, I was really excited for this. This was a cool match to have happen. And for Portugal, not just because of Ronaldo's last tournament, right? Think about what happened last year for the Portuguese national team. The guy that, we need a goal, bring on Diogo. We need something to change, bring on Diogo. You subbed on Jota. All 20-something of you got called up. You went to the World Cup and you played like that in his memory. That's how you ended this World Cup, playing like that. That should haunt you. That's who Portugal was looking for. They didn't want Gonzalo Ramos. You can't play for yourself. You're not playing for Portugal at this point. You're playing for Root. You're playing for Diogo's family, his kids. You're playing for all of those people. And to go out there and play like that against Spain, it's really sad, dude.
Yeah, I hear you. Especially being Ronaldo's last dance. It's weird because I saw after the game his reaction versus last World Cup. And I don't know if you could see the difference. Last World Cup, he broke down crying hard. This one was more accepting, almost like, I knew it was going to happen. And I came to the realization that my Euro that I won is just as important. And it's kind of weird for me. My hot take, you've heard this plenty of times. This was Portugal's golden generation, and Roberto Martinez screwed it up big time. I didn't think he had the balls to bench Ronaldo when he needed to bench Ronaldo. Gonzalo Ramos, yes, you just got done saying he's not the greatest thing since sliced bread, but he came in and scored a goal against Croatia. He was effective. Maybe have him start, tire people out, and then throw Ronaldo in. Play two up top, play a 3-5-2. He squandered the Belgian golden generation, and he did the same with Portugal. I don't know how he keeps getting these high-profile jobs, but I'm not that big of a fan. Remember, this guy was coaching Everton. Very average Everton. How he landed these, no clue. But nonetheless, Spain was my pick to win the entire thing, so they advance on to the next round. I did have them beating Portugal anyways. But let me ask you this, Joey. All three host nations knocked out in the round of 16. Did you expect it? Are you okay with the outcomes?
Well, for your last question, no, I'm not okay with the results, but I'll get to that. Going into this World Cup, yeah, this meets my expectation. I thought if we weren't hosting this World Cup, we weren't going to get a bid. We were terrible in the build up to this. This was a bad United States team. And they surprised the hell out of me. Canada surprised the hell out of me. I think the only one that you could say met expectations is Mexico. And they got around further than I thought they were going to get, honestly. So for everyone to be out right now, for my expectations at the start of the World Cup, this isn't surprising to me. This is what I figured. Now, being in the World Cup, I'm surprised that Mexico and the U.S. are out. That does shock me. What about
Like you, coming into this tournament, I didn't have high hopes for any of these CONCACAF teams. Canada, I thought, would have got knocked out the previous round, so to me, they kind of slightly overperformed, even though I don't think they were great in this tournament. When it comes to Mexico, they shocked me more than any of the CONCACAF teams. Not only have their fans in the 12th man pushed them farther than I think they could have normally done, but they definitely overachieved, man. They gave England a run for their money. And yes, England had 10 guys. They dominated possession. I would have never guessed before this tournament kicked off that they would ever have dominated possession against England. And they also dominated
possession, but they weren't winning that game.
Brother,
they weren't beating England.
Look pound for pound. Would you have said they would have dominated possession against England? Never.
No, I definitely would not have said that. Tuchel setting up to allow Mexico to have the ball was like, that's a shocking move to me. But I think 3-2 is being very kind to Mexico. I'm not saying Mexico was terrible, but you knew Mexico's not going to win this game.
I thought there was a chance if England lack of sleep, they didn't play well, and the 12th man playing in the Azteca. But I still think Mexico overperformed. Out of the three CONCACAF teams, super sharp. Maybe on par with the U.S., which was another one that surprised me. I had zero expectations. I thought U.S. was going to get third in our group. We got first. We kicked off the tournament really well. Out of nowhere, because leading up to the World Cup, we sucked. We had maybe one good game. The first few games of the World Cup, I was shocked. I'm like, maybe we could actually get to quarterfinals. I still didn't think we could get past that. But when we played Belgium, I was like, yeah, typical. And remember, this is an old Belgian team that were once ranked 1 or 2 in the world. Lukaku doesn't start. De Bruyne doesn't always start. But they still handed us a can of whoop ass. And it was bad.
No, don't, dude.
It was bad. And
yeah.
We weren't close.
I don't want to talk about this yet. I don't want to talk about this yet.
Rip the Band-Aid off and talk about this, Joey.
All right, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it.
The U.S., when they played, I was like, typical. Everybody kept coming to me at work, my friends group, everybody kept texting me, dude, what happened? I thought we were playing so well. I'm like, bro, we were overperforming the last few games. This is typically how we play. The dumb mistake by Matt Freese in goal. Yes, Reams was backtracking, but he still could have cleared it. This is typical of US, and I've seen it happen over the last 20 years. This is very on script for us. So I was not surprised that we lost.
This team is no better than 2014. The United States has not gone anywhere since 2014. And I'm going to give you a hot take. 2014 would fuck this current team up. I don't think 2014 is anywhere near as talented as this current squad, but what they did have was a whole lot of heart and a whole lot of grit. That's the United States. That's us right there. We were better than this Belgium side. Based on form, who was playing better? The United States was playing out of their minds. Doku had a terrible season this year. De Bruyne relied heavily on his athleticism in his prime. De Bruyne is not that guy anymore. He didn't start. Romelu Lukaku still plays professional football, and he mogged us, dude. They lost Onana 10 minutes into that game. And the United States that showed up is exactly what you said. That's the U.S. team that we know that they are. They were playing potch, liquid football. I was saying to everybody, oh my God, dude, this is Tottenham 2014, 2019 again. They were so fun to watch. It was beautiful. And then we play a team where they didn't have the legs to handle liquid football. And what do? We back pass like a bunch of fucking buffoons. Why did Tyler Adams lose the armband? Why? Adams was out there trying to kill guys every time we lost the ball. Weston McKennie has more talent in his left nut than Christian Pulisic. Yes, I'm going to say that. The Pulisic that just played was the Pulisic that we saw all season. We saw him all season. That's why we had no confidence in this team.
Second half of the season. His first half was good at Milan.
Nah, dude. No, dude. I'm not buying that, man. He has purple patches. That's the kind of player he is. He has all the technical ability in the world. He'll give you 6 weeks of pretty solid play. Then he disappears for 12 weeks. Shows up for another 3. Oh, this guy's good. Wait, where did Pulisic go? We need him again. I mean, if anyone who's coming after Balogun for getting no service all game, find a new sport. The fact that Ricardo Pepi got called on, the slowest striker we have, instead of Haji Wright, Coventry's leading goal scorer, by the way, who just got promoted this season, he got 6 minutes this whole World Cup. If I'm Haji, I'm asking to change my citizenship. Because what do you mean? I don't get more than 6 minutes at the World Cup after I get Coventry City promoted. The only people who have any kind of pride in this World Cup are Gio Reyna, because that's the Gio we know he is, Malik Tillman, because, man, Malik, you're really good, and Weston McKennie. Everyone else, you should go back to wherever you play, sit in a dark room, and really think about yourself. Think about if you want to play football for the rest of your life. Serginho Dest, you lost your job to Timothy Weah. How the hell did you get it back? And how is Tim Weah, another forward option, not playing? That's it.
Sounds like you have a lot of questions for Pochettino.
It took me so long to buy into this team. It took me so long to buy in. And as soon as I buy in, it's the team I knew you were. I knew exactly that's who you guys were.
That was your mistake. You drank the Kool-Aid, brother. I tried warning you. I tried warning many people. People were asking me about betting on the game. Why? I told them Belgium's probably going to win. And they looked at me like I was a damn fool. And I said, guys, do not be surprised. They may be old, but they are very intelligent.
Like, yeah, they're very intelligent, but we have the legs. We also have the technical ability where it doesn't matter how smart you are. We're going to beat you because we're going to be faster than you guys. We're going to get to those balls before you. We just are.
They still have Thibaut Courtois. Lukaku was a super sub this tournament and has been. We have Balogun, brother. Other than Balogun, who's putting balls in the back of the net? You saw Ricardo Pepi had a few opportunities to play. Ricardo Pepi
looks solid for his first few games. Tillman, like, it doesn't have to be the 9. We can get goals from other places.
Yes, but who's the
it's
goal
just the
threat,
simple
brother?
fact that no one showed up. No, Courtois is not the same Courtois he was, dude. This whole World Cup shows he's not the same Courtois.
He's still starting for Real Madrid and got him as far as they did in this last Champions League. Think about it. If you're Lukaku or if you're Harry Kane or you're Erling Haaland, it takes 2 center backs sometimes to occupy you. Do you really think 2 center backs are guarding Balogun?
No, I mean they didn't have to because he's not as strong as Lukaku or a Harry Kane, but he's a lot quicker than them. So you maybe put on a fullback and you put on the center half to hold on to him. But the problem with Balogun is that he got no service this game. So I can't put anything on Balogun. I can't. McKinney played some of the worst football I've seen him play in my whole life. My whole life, I've never seen Weston play that bad.
I'm not a big McKinney fan.
Belgium dribbled through our midfield time and time again. They were allowed to dribble through our midfield. Tyler Adams, like I just said, he was trying to kill people every time they tried to do that. Not Weston. He wasn't doing that. Malik, he wasn't really doing that. Our center backs, they weren't really doing that.
I hear you. And this might be an unpopular opinion because I'm not a fan of this formation. However, I think it depends on the players you have. And I'm looking at our team and I'm like, dude, we should have played a 3-5-2. We're not great defensively. So having three center backs back there plus the wing backs would have been great, especially with Robinson and Dest just charging forward. They both, I think, did well in this World Cup. Pulisic was underwhelming. Okay, move him or get him out. You could have played two up top. Imagine Balogun and Haji Wright together. Dude, Malik Tillman, damn, he made a statement for himself.
He showed up at this World Cup.
So did Balogun.
He said, no,
I think those are our two best players.
I'm bigger than Leverkusen. I'm bigger than Leverkusen. Move me. That's what he said at this World Cup. And you're right, dude. We can't just rely on Balogun. We could have played Haji Wright both up there. We could have played Pulisic up there in a dual 9 position, and he plays out wide and leave Balogun play in the middle. Wow, look at that. That's like managers thinking it through, right? I said to McKenna, once we went down, as soon as we gave up that second goal, I'm like, oh, that's it. No, Poch is going to check out for this game. And Poch, he's a great manager, right? But Poch has a very bad habit. And tell me if I'm off base. For as long as I remember watching Poch be a manager, if Poch feels like his team can't get that second goal, it doesn't matter how much time's left on there. If he just doesn't believe that his team really has a chance in this game, he gives up. He doesn't make substitutions to try to compete in games anymore. He makes substitutions to mitigate the damage that's going to happen. And that's exactly what he did when we went down 2. And then he realized when we went down 3, no, like it's over here. It's not club football where I get next week or I get another, Champions League run. And like, no, I have to wait 4 years to go after this game. Then he brings on Haji Wright with 4 minutes to go. And then guess what happens? Chris Richards, who's been our best center half the entire tournament, even that game. He's getting no support? Oh, and now he's getting double pressed? He's getting pressed by the strongest guy on the pitch? Oh, the strongest guy on the pitch just bullied him off the ball? Okay. Oh, and now Lukaku scored. Our midfield is entirely at fault for that loss. Christian Pulisic should be hanging his head in utter shame. Matt Freese, I thought you would be better than Turner. I thought we finally found someone. Brother, you're just as dumb as him. You're just as dumb as Matt Turner.
Yeah, it was sad. It's funny that you mentioned about the Pochettino thing, because that's actually what the commentator was saying, that he looked like he was out of ideas. And I look up at the clock and I'm like, okay, there's still 12, 15 minutes, maybe even 17, 20 if you add the stoppage time. And then I looked at the subs and he still had 2 subs remaining and he was just out of ideas. Like I said, I would have switched the formation 3-5-2 at that point, put all your firepower up front, take the people that are dragging their feet or jogging off.
Belgium's too old or too slow. I mean, you can say they're smarter than us, maybe they're better technically than us, but there's a certain point where we're 85 minutes to a game and I just keep coming and coming and coming at you. You're not as fast as me. Your legs are going to give up on you at a certain point. A goal was going to be there, but we can't as a team. Same what I've been screaming about for Senegal. You as a team cannot concede 2 goals in the span of 3 minutes. You can't do that. As the United States, you cannot equalize and then shit away the equalizer in 60 seconds. That cannot happen. The 2014 squad didn't even do that. Again, this 2014 would kill this 2026 team. You can say I'm crazy all you want, but they would. Dempsey would dog walk.
At the end of the day for me, Joey, if you look at the first few games versus this one, we wanted to make a statement. We wanted it more, particularly against Paraguay. Your opener, you're hosting the tournament. You've had a very poor run up until the World Cup. You needed this. So they just gave it their all. Now, I don't know if it was running out of gas. I'm not quite sure, but we just didn't want it. You could see the
No,
Belgians
we
wanted
had
it
no
more
fight.
than us this go around, and they showed it. Ketelaar, 2 goals back to back. Like, he wanted that. He was hungry. He was disappointed when he came out because he wanted that hat trick. I don't see that from us. We're cool with a 1-0. You know, we don't have that hungry.
Yeah, we were fine to win 1-0 in that game. What I say in that group chat that we have, there should be one thing on the United States mind going into this game. Vengeance. Vengeance should have been on their minds. 2014 should have been all over your brain, saying we're not going to let that happen again.
Problem is that you're talking to a whole new group of people. It's not vengeance for them. It's vengeance for us, but not them.
They're the generation, they're our age. They watched that World Cup. They grew up with that heartbreak.
I know.
How do you not have that pride say, no, we're going to show you guys? Because I guarantee they all saw the shit. Europeans talked about the United States after that World Cup too, because I've seen it all. You're telling me you're telling me Tim Raines said everyone down and say, do you guys remember that World Cup and how
Well, let me
terrible
answer that question
felt?
by asking you this, Joey, because this has been a big problem over the last, maybe 12, 14 years with the U.S. Did they not care as much because they're not, quote unquote, American? We heard a lot about this when Jurgen Klinsmann was our coach and he was bringing half German Americans here. That they didn't have the heart. They didn't know what it meant to be American. They're not putting, their all and effort into it. And you've heard that now. I mean, you have half the guys on the team. Let's be real. They're either German, they're English, and they probably would have played for those other countries if they would have made it. Dest is another example.
I think Dest is the ideal example of a guy who's just playing for the United States because he couldn't play for the Netherlands. However, I'll say Malik Tillman. Tillman wanted to play for the United States. Balogun, we had to fight. We had to fight England for him. I don't think you understand how badly England also wanted Balogun, but he picked us. He picked us. He did. Pulisic could have played for Croatia. He could have. A lot of the
maybe, but that's a stretch. Honestly, looking back, he probably would have played.
We have half Americans. To say we have half Americans in here now is why people aren't playing that well. I would just say, okay, France.
I'm not the one making that argument. I don't think just because you're not born here or you don't live here yourself means you can't play for the badge. I think they played for the badge and they gave it, whatever their all, as much as they would have with their own countries. I'm not for that argument. Joey, if we're being real, if we took only Americans, we would have been grouped. We got our asses kicked. So I'm all for, if you want to say taking their leftovers, take it for now, learn what they have, and then we'll make a statement down the road eventually. But this is all we got right now. So beggars can't be choosers, especially when they're your best players, like Tillman.
I think the real issue here is what you and I have talked about since we met each other is it's our youth system. It's bad. It does not breed success for football. Did you see what Lala said?
I honestly will turn it off when he talks, or I just tune muted.
He said that, well, I mean, who's free stuff is good and all, but who's going to pay for it? People need to pay for it. If you can pay for it, that's just what it is. And if you can't get access to it, sorry. Cool, Lexi. If you had to compete with guys from the favela to get a spot in a club, I'll tell you one thing. Lawless, he'd be playing hockey or baseball. I listen to Dempsey. I listen to Howard. I'll listen to Donovan. If I say, did you hear the great point Lala said? I'm a government agent. I'm not a real person anymore. Well, to say that, well, who's going to pay for it? Okay, let's go to countries that are significantly poorer than us. Belgium, not significantly poor. Belgium does not make as much money as ours. We do. Oh, football is free all over the place. You have to pay maybe €5 a week to be part of an official system where then you can get scouted.
Problem, I agree that that's how it should be in a perfect world, Joey. The problem is that the only way those countries are able to do it is because football is their only sport, and their men's team generates enough revenue to promote their women's team, their youth academies, and pay everybody all their salaries. The MLS has gone up and folded. It started again. Now it's been around since 1994 consistently, but they still don't make enough money to even all have youth academies. None of them, and then talk about bringing politics into it with the women's game. They don't really want to be associated with like LAFC women's. They're going to make their own club, right? So it's not as cohesive as it is in Europe and the rest of the world, where the men's team makes so much money. Youth football's free. We can't do that. And then you have the American mindset of, well, I'm coaching. I want to get paid. I'm training these kids. I want to get paid. Who's going to pay me? I'm not going to do it for free. Can't do that. Can't survive off it. And the MLS club's not paying you, so got to start a club. So I get why we do the things we do. Until it's big enough, it's just not going to change. But going, I don't know, man. Really, I think it's our best shot. Even though we're doing the Resident Academy down in San Diego, I think that's a start, and hopefully we have more of those. But I think in the meantime, our best opportunity is to do what we did with this last generation, and is when they're young or in the teenagers, send them to Europe, have them develop there. That's our only shot right now to catching up.
It is. I mean, that's what a lot of countries still do, right? I mean, that's quite literally what Argentina does. That's quite literally what Brazil does, right? And they're
Kind of,
some of the best teams in
but
the
their
world.
domestic leagues, I would still say, are their infrastructure is better than
They're
ours.
much more competitive than the MLS, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But I can't even, dude. I mean, who's at Argentina really? Old boys, Boca,
River Plate.
River Plate. Okay, who's in Brazil? Flamengo.
There's a few clubs in each of, but they like if you're a scout from Europe, where are you going, Joey? If you're a scout from Europe, are you going to come here to watch FC Dallas's youth academy team?
I'm gonna go down there. But point I want to make is that I hear what you're saying, right? Clubs make a certain amount of money where you can just kind of do it for free or whatever. They're using Brazilian dollars down there, and that's a bankrupt country. Argentina's actually bankrupt. We have the United States dollar. You're telling me we have a shortage of money? Get all the way out of here, dude. Get out of here. It's a money problem. It's not a money problem. It's a person problem that has something to do with money. That's a greed issue.
Yeah, of course there's going
It's
to
a
be
greed issue.
Of course it's greed. But how do you keep it's so expensive when it comes to operating a stadium, paying these professional contracts, trying to attract the best players. What are you going to spend your money on? Getting, Messi over here to the MLS, or making my youth academy free?
But so yeah, you're getting Messi over here. You're dumping X amount of millions of dollars, and you're maybe recoup some of it, all of it back for the 3-4 years he's going to be here. Versus, I invest my money into my youth academy. I can sell a player to a Dortmund, a Munich, or a Mönchengladbach, a Cologne, or they can go to Rennes, they can go to Lyon, they can go to Marseille. I make money off of that. If they make a move to a Real Madrid for $80 million, guess what? I make money off of that still. That's in the contract. That exists all over Europe. That's why River Plate still is a club. That's why Boca's still a club.
The biggest MLS clubs are doing that. The biggest ones that can, remember, we haven't produced any players like that. We do have that Sullivan kid who's supposed to be going to City. However, we would want everybody to stay here, that we're trying to convince them that this is the project, right? But still, not the fact that not every MLS club even has an academy, that says something.
My fear is that just how our labor laws work. Sullivan's going to go over there as soon as he's 18. He hasn't played a single minute international for us. He's a free agent at that point. There's like, we're not thinking about how we're potentially setting up our actual future. Like, oh, this is a legit kid. We're going to be sending them to countries where, oh, hey, you lived here for a year or two. You want to play for the national team? Yeah, I want to play for England. I want to play for the United States. What are you talking about? I want to be part of the Three Lions. That's going to happen. It's going to happen more and more because we had another generation of kids who watched heartbreak against we have another generation who saw heartbreak against Belgium. That's quite literally what this generation was. Come through, we've had our golden generation. Now we're on nations' radars like, oh, the U.S. can produce talent, right? It's what happened with the Ivory Coast. It's what happened with Senegal. It's what happens with Guyana, having the Cameroon. Oh, you can play. You want to come here a little worse. We're going to stay in this cycle, and you and I are going to have the same conversation of, well, we need to fix the youth system. That's quite literally it. I can hear you, like, who's going to make money? Sometimes you just have to eat a cost in order for a great benefit. And who paid for the Notre Dame? Who got paid off that? No one got paid off the Notre Dame. It's beautiful. That's why we built it. Who's getting paid off the Vatican? No one. It's beautiful. That's art. Who got paid off the Sistine Chapel? You're asking dumb questions you know the answer to. You don't have to make money off of something just to do the right thing. I want to see it come back. You're not going to see it come back. None of us are going to see the United States be this great footballing powerhouse. We thought this was our best shot. We're not going to see that happen, I don't think, because we are all saying, well, who's going to pay for it? Go fuck yourself. That's how you're going to pay for it. That's my answer.
You're not thinking from an American mindset, though, Joey. You have to remember these.
I am thinking this. Dude, America should be about helping each other. That's what we've done.
No, that's not what we've done. It's about money. It's about greed. It's about making your shareholders happy.
No, that's new America, dude. That is not the America I know.
Who do you think owns all these clubs?
Coolest guys of all time in the United States, for sure. That's why there's no relegation allowed in the MLS.
Yeah, well, that's a topic of discussion for another day. But, bro, you're talking about something that's been a problem for a long time, even when I was growing up. So many players had either played at the youth level, and they still chose to play for Mexico over the U.S. Why?
Mhm.
Because we had no shot. There was no future. Yes, there was more money at the time in Mexico, and they can be somebody. They're at a better team. They can compete, win trophies. They didn't feel American, even though they lived here. So I think that's a big problem. That's a big problem, and I don't think that's changing. But I wanted to touch on something, a big thing of maybe why Belgium wanted this, maybe just a tad bit more than we did.
Oh,
Balogun's card getting overturned. The whole Trump getting involved, saying it was down to him to get it reversed. That's not a good look for us, man. It's a horrible, horrible look to see that our nation's president gets involved in an international tournament with the rest of the world and gets something overturned, which is, from my recollection, has never been done before.
what I think genuinely happened here is that we had a lot of great vibes going into this. We were on everyone's we were everyone's number one good boy. People who hated us as a nation were like, all right, dude, Americans got it. Like, it looks like they maybe got it. This happens. Good vibes are all gone. We're no longer the underdog, the scrappy young bucks who we're just trying to do it. We're going to make our country proud. We're now a villain. We're now the enemy. That's what happened here. We became the villain. We gave Belgium a little extra. If red card been overturned and he had not gotten involved, I don't think Belgium would have played as hard as they did. But it's the fact that it became very political right then and there. It was no longer about the tournament. It was about the United States, the government, not the team. The government is now putting its hand in here. It's something it did not belong in. That's not what the World Cup is. I don't care what you want to do as a political leader. It's not about your country. It's about the people in your country. And those are two very different things that if you think about, you'd understand. But they don't, because they're buffoons.
So let me ask you this, Joey. If you were the men's national team, would you have played Balogun? Or would you have left him out?
I mean, I would, if I'm Poch, I was preparing the entire time to have Haji Wright play. That's what I would have been doing, have Pepe come off the bench. Now, I hear Haji, I can hear that I can't have Flo. Okay, Haji, instead of 70 minutes, you're getting 60 now, or you're getting the first half. Then I'll bring on Flo. Because you do have to prove the point, like, hey, we're not Flo Balogun. That's not this team. We're the United States. We have other people. And Malik proved that. And then we gave it right away. We gave it away. If I'm Poch, I'm preparing all the way. I'm starting the game without Flo, but I bring him on as a super sub. That's what I would do.
Hey, this might be controversial, but if I was Poch or the U.S. men's national team, I would have said, I understand you got the card reversed, but we don't feel this is right. Nowhere in FIFA's rules do you ever get that kind of card overturned just like that. You might get a 3-game ban reduced to a 1-game. I'm cool with that. But to push this off appeal for a year and just now all of a sudden as a host country I could play, I don't feel that's right. It's going to make people hate us, and that's not how FIFA should be ran. So I would have stuck it to not only the government, but also to FIFA and said, look, bro, Balogun, you're sitting this one out. We may lose, but hey, we may lose with you too. But we got to do what's right. And playing you wasn't right, in my opinion.
No, you're right, dude. I mean, you're not incorrect. I mean, we can all say it was a harsh red card all we want. I mean, look, was Gerald Kwanzaa's red card really a red card in the Mexico game? No, I see. If you follow the letter
I
of the
don't
law,
know.
says that's a red card. Okay, but
According to
if
the
you
new
go to
rules, it is.
yeah, if you go to any other league around the world, that's a 50-50 call that 80% of times can just be called a yellow. That's just like that's yellow.
What I have a problem with is that you got to be consistent. If you're going to overturn his, you got to overturn them all. Problem, no
Messi?
problem. If you, that's the one. If you're going to give Balogun a red, you didn't give Messi anything. I
We're
know
on
you.
Messi now. Yes.
I know you can't use VAR to give Messi a yellow, but like you can't not give him anything and then Balogun nothing. It's like, hey, issue a statement saying we fucked up and we missed it on Messi, but they didn't. You could just say, okay, we didn't give Messi anything. Guess what? I'm also
Oh
not going to
man,
call that for any of these other games.
speaking of missing things for Argentina, let's move on to that game. You can laugh all you want, dude. I have never seen quite blatant corruption and robbery in my entire life.
Tell me your issues with that game, and I will tell you my feelings because I was dealing with this all day at work today.
Argentina dominated possession, right? But Egypt wasn't giving them really a chance. They really weren't giving them a whole lot of chances in there.
I don't know if I would say
And
Argentina dominated possession, brother. Egypt played well, and they up until that point just played okay.
But
I was
Egypt didn't
surprised they
have a
got
lot
this
of the ball.
far.
When Egypt had the ball, they were aggressive. They went forward. They wanted to attack. They brought the game to Argentina.
100%.
The entire time they brought that game to Argentina.
So what's the problem?
Let's talk about that wonder goal. That's the first problem. Okay. You saw that run to get the ball from, I want to say your defensive corner, your left-hand side defensive quarter, and then to dribble through the entire team to the other side of the field to then pass the ball to Mo Salah, who has to play a beautiful pass to get the assist off. And you call that back for a foul in the build-up?
Yes, of course.
No,
of
dude,
course.
that's so removed from the play. And if you watch the foul in real time,
He
that's
stepped
not
on his
really
foot.
a foul because the ref was right there staring at it, and he didn't call a foul. He said that wasn't enough contact in the moment to call it a foul. So it's not a foul. You play on. VAR, yes, you want to get things right when it's really crucial when it matters. There's a certain point where VAR is just getting things right for the sake of saying, we got it right, though. We got it right. We got it right. That didn't matter, that foul that happened. That did not happen because if that foul, let's say, he fouled them, okay? Sure. They didn't get a scoring opportunity right off of that. They had a dribble through the entire team, pass the ball twice, and then beat the keeper first time. That's not because of a foul. That's because Egypt played out of their minds to get that position. Now you can say, but he fouled me. The referee looked at you. He saw the contact, and he said, that's not enough for a foul. Okay, so that's a foul. You say that's a foul, right? That Mo Salah penalty. That should have been a penalty that Argentina scored off of. It's not a foul.
No.
Why is it not a foul? He kicked him in the back of the feet when he's trying to go to get the ball. How is that not a foul?
Brother, let's start with one at a time. According to the letter of the law, when VAR's introduced, if it results in a goal, because you got an advantage from a foul, you can call it back. Whether we agree
that's
with
not resulted in the goal.
Wait. Whether we agree with it or not is not the point of this. Was it soft? Maybe, maybe not. But the guy stomped on his foot regardless, and I'm sure it's happened to you.
Stomped on his foot is crazy.
Okay, stepped on his foot. The studs were on his foot. Not only was that, even if it didn't hurt, when somebody's standing on your foot, you obviously can't move. So he tipped over. Yes, they had to go to the other side of the pitch. I get it. You're saying, yes, the ref didn't think it was enough. But we all know refs are imperfect. They miss things. It was a foul. Did they get a goal from it? Yes. Is it a long way away? Sure.
No, they did not get a goal from the foul. They didn't foul him and get the ball and shoot right away.
Brother, it caused a counterattack. Did it not? That sparked the transition of the goal. They wouldn't have even have got there if it wasn't for that. And the refs have to. They don't have a choice. VAR is every goal. They have to monitor how that even happened. I understand what you're saying, but you guys are sitting here acting like there was 26 passes and 4 minutes have passed since then. No. It was literally a span of maybe 6 seconds.
Okay, for sure. No, but Do you agree with me on this? Sure, sometimes, yes, this is a foul. But when I really look at it in play, was it really soft? Did he go down really easily? Yeah. Could he have stayed up if he gets kicked? Yeah, he could have stayed up.
I
But
think
he
it was
didn't.
more of a
So he
trip,
gave
Joey.
up. He
I
gave
think
up.
it was. I think it was really more of a trip than it hurt. I don't think it hurt him that bad.
It was, but it wasn't really a trip, man. He clipped him for sure. But you see his leg try to come up with him, and he just gives up on trying to plant it again. He does.
Dude,
That's a
If
dive.
you look at the two defenders, because there was two of them on Lisandro Martinez, one of them was going the opposite direction. So he had a clear free run to the 18-yard box. No incentive to fall down. He got tripped, brother. Like, Egypt was playing really well. I'm not taking that away from them. But I don't really mind that one getting called back. The other one that you brought up with Mo Salah, to me, Mo Salah was already going down before he got contact. Just like Harry Kane was on the other one. Just like Harry Kane was. So I didn't really see that big. I know you're a Mo Salah lover. Look at your shirt. For everybody that's listening, I'm not an Argentina fan. Not at all. I could care less if Egypt knocked him out.
So,
But I didn't think that was a penalty.
Okay, it's not a penalty. But if we're going to go by the letter of the law, it is a foul that affected the buildup into a goal. So then why the fuck are we going to play that game for Argentina, but we don't do that for Egypt when that was a foul that led to a goal? You can
I'm
say,
not saying it was a
well,
foul.
he dove.
I don't think it was a foul.
He dove. Well, yeah, it wasn't a foul. It was too soft. Lisandro Martinez was too soft. The ref said so right then and there. That's too soft. It's not a foul. Let me bring it all the way back after we've gone 2 minutes past this whole thing. No, dude, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't.
Bro.
You just can't. Because you say it's a foul, you don't think it's a foul, I thought it was a foul, that's fine. But what does the letter of the law say? Well, you said that was a foul. I said it wasn't a foul for the Argentina one. What does the letter of the law say? It is a foul, technically. It is a foul when you look at it
this
literally.
is where subjectivity goes into it. How hard do you think? You think the one against Argentina was soft? Stepping on somebody's foot and making them immobile is not the same as running in like
and
shoulder
then
to shoulder.
kicking someone's legs out behind them?
I disagree with that. I don't think he kicked his legs out behind him. I don't. Maybe I haven't seen all the angles that you have, but from the ones I saw, I did not see that, dude. And I told you, you know this. I like Mo, but from the angles I saw, I didn't see any contact on that one. We can watch it again later.
We'll agree to disagree on that.
That's
one,
fine.
Man.
That's fine. Because at the end of the day, there's truths on both sides, and I do think this is a contact sport. Go play tennis if you don't want to be hit.
Yeah,
but at the same time, there are things that are impending.
I hear what you're
movements.
saying, dude. I hear what you're saying, right? Like, this is the law. VAR's got it in to bring it right. But at what point are we just killing the game so referees can feel good? Like, well, I got it all right today. I got it right. Good job, VAR. We got it right. We totally killed the fun of that game, but we got it right. Good job, everybody.
Here's how
What's the point?
Joey, this is how I make my decisions. If I was Argentina and I was Lisandro Martinez and that happened to me, would I be like, fuck, they got a goal off that? I would be super pissed because I'd be like, that's a foul. And that led to a goal. Flip side, if I was Mo and that happened to me, I honestly don't think I would be that pissed. I'd be like, damn, I tried to sell it and I couldn't do it. That's just my personal opinion. Again, we can look at other angles later.
Okay, what about the McAllister foul in the box?
Regardless of that, let's just say they got all those calls. Egypt still got 3 goals past them.
If they got all those calls, it would have gone 5 past them.
What they should have done, in my opinion, was they were 20 minutes away. Close up shop. This is Argentina. Close up shop. At the end of the day, I understand your argument. I understand people at work. Like, I get it. Everybody thinks that, it's paid with Messi and Infantino and all that. Like, I understand. But you still let in 3 goals. Why is there no accountability for that? Even if they would have given you that goal, 3-3, you probably still would have lost in extra time. Do not let in 3 goals. You have to shut up shop. No fan is talking about that.
Yep.
And that's what pisses me off.
Yep.
Cry all about the penalties you want. Fine. I'll concede this argument between you and me. Take the goals. You still let in 3. It would have been tied. Then what? That we get nowhere.
No, you have to think about a paddle. Like, you're right, dude. You're right. I'm not trying to take away what you're saying because you gave up 2 goals. And it's not like, I gave 1 in the first half and 1 in the second. I gave 1 20 minutes apart. Like, you gave them up within 5 minutes of each other. What have I been saying about Senegal? You cannot concede twice in 3 minutes. They did it twice in 5. You can't do that and expect to win a match. You cannot do that. I mean, maybe to Egypt's credit, not credit, but, let's say to Egypt's benefit, who are you really going to bring on besides Marmoush off the bench? And Marmoush was shocking when he came off the bench. So, who do you bring on as Egypt? But if you're the manager, you say, okay, who are 3 guys that are willing to put a boot in Messi's chest? You're all on. Do not let him get past you. Do not let Alvarez touch the ball. And you better make sure Lisandro Martinez spends the next 3 minutes on the floor. You do not let these guys anywhere near the 25-yard box. They just didn't. They didn't do that. They didn't. They got hit on the counters really quick. Messi's goal was, I guess I can say it's well worked, but it just felt like, okay, all right, Messi scored. And great. I don't want to scream corruption, right? Because that's not who I am. It's really not who I am.
I don't have a problem with VAR getting involved, but the ref on the field should be like, I see it. Wave it away. They have the power to do that. This might be part of the reason why he didn't call the foul in the first place, Joey, is because he knows VAR is going to be there to save his ass if he needs it. And they shouldn't be reffing like that. If you see something that you think's a penalty, whatever, call it. Ref as if VAR's not there. I want to touch on this right before we leave. You look at the quarterfinals and who are left. 6 out of the 8 teams are European. That's not a good look for CONCACAF. That's not a good look for CONMEBOL. Again, just to reiterate, 6 out of the 8 teams are European. You have 1 from CONMEBOL in Argentina, and then 1 from AFCON, Morocco. Other than that, this is not a good look for the rest of the world. It's the same as the club teams, though. All the power is in Europe. The best players, the best clubs, all in Europe. Well, that's all we have time for today on today's episode of Tiki Talka. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and drop a like, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that way you guys don't miss an episode. Other than that, we'll see you on the next episode of Tiki Talka.